Buddha once said, "Death is not the end. It is only a doorway, a silent passage from one state of being to another." These words may appear simple, soft, gentle, but within them lies a truth so vast, so deep, so comforting, that even hearing it can soften the silent fear that lives inside most hearts. In this world, people fear death. People avoid speaking about it. People whisper the word as if its very sound could call misfortune closer. Families talk about everything: money, marriage, work, worries, dreams, failures, hopes, but not death. Parents hide it. Adults deny it. Children are confused by it. Elders feel it approaching, but suffer quietly because no one knows how to talk about death with wisdom, with clarity, or with peace. But the Buddha did not avoid the subject. He did not whisper. He did not hide. He met death directly, with open eyes, with an awakened mind, with a heart free from fear. He spoke about death with clarity, with compassion, with complete fearlessness, because he understood that the fear of death comes from not understanding life. So today, let us sit together, gently, calmly, like monks resting beneath a Bodhi tree. Let us open the heart, relax the breath, and explore what truly happens after death. Not through fear, not through imagination, not through superstition, but through the deep, awakened wisdom of the Buddha. Welcome to Buddha Wisdom, India, a sanctuary for inner peace, understanding, and spiritual awakening. Let us begin. Slowly, respectfully, with an open mind and a quiet heart. Death as a transition, not an end. In Buddhism, death is not a tragedy, not a failure, not a punishment. It is a natural moment in the long, timeless journey of consciousness, just as the sun sets, only to rise again, just as a wave dissolves, only to return to the ocean, just as a candle flame fades, but leaves behind warmth. Death is a transition, a shift, a movement from one expression of life to another. Buddha explained that life is not a straight line, not a beginning and an ending, but a flowing river, a continuous stream, never still, never fixed, never ending. Every thought, every action, every intention, every emotion creates ripples inside that river. When the body dies, the river does not stop. It simply changes its flow, changes its direction, changes its form. Life is not broken by death. Life is reshaped, redirected, reborn. Understanding this dissolves fear, because nothing truly ends. Everything transforms. The final moments of life, when a person dies, the body becomes quiet, still, motionless. But the mind, the consciousness, the subtle energy, does not stop immediately. The Buddha described the final moments with extraordinary clarity. He said that as a person approaches death, the mind becomes like a mirror, reflecting the entire life. In one silent instant, every intention, every emotion, every memory, every act of kindness or harm arises before the mind, not to punish, not to judge, but to reveal the direction of the next journey. Because at death, it is not a God, not fate, not destiny, that decides your future. It is your own mind. Your final thought becomes the seed of your next life. Your final emotion becomes the wind that carries you forward. A person who dies in fear carries fear into the next life. A person who dies in anger carries anger into the next life. But a person who dies in peace, in compassion, in clarity, carries those qualities forward. This is why the Buddha taught that the greatest preparation for death is to train the mind while living, because the mind is the doorway you will walk through. What leaves the body when the heart stops, when breath ends? Not everything disappears. The Buddha called what continues vijnana, consciousness, not a soul, not an eternal self, but a stream, a flow, an energetic continuity that moves forward. He explained it with a metaphor, one candle lighting another. The flame moves, but it is not the same flame, nor is it separate, yet nothing is lost. In the same way, consciousness continues, carrying intentions, tendencies, karma, emotional imprints. The body remains like an old garment. The voice disappears like wind fading. Memories dissolve like writing on sand. But the tendencies of the mind, the seeds of karma, the intentions you lived with, continue onward, not as reward, not as punishment, but as natural cause and effect. The Bardo, in early Buddhism and later in Tibetan teachings, the Buddha explained a state called Bardo, the intermediate space between death and rebirth, a quiet passage, a transition hallway between two lives. For some, it lasts seconds. For others, minutes, hours, or days. In Bardo, the consciousness is free from the body, but not free from the mind. The mind sees visions, lights, sounds, emotions. These are not external spirits, not gods, not demons. They are reflections of your own karma. A peaceful mind sees peaceful visions. A fearful mind sees fearful visions. A compassionate mind sees pathways of light. A restless mind feels turbulence. This is why the Buddha taught meditation in life is preparation for clarity in death. A trained mind remains calm, even in Bardo. How rebirth happens. Rebirth is not random, not chosen by gods, not a reward, not a punishment. It is shaped by the momentum of your mind. your next existence, matches your deepest tendencies. If anger dominates your life, you move toward conditions where anger continues. If compassion dominates, you move toward conditions where compassion grows. If craving dominates, you move toward conditions where craving continues. If wisdom dominates, you move toward teaching, teachers, situations that support awakening. Just as childhood habits shape adulthood, the habits of this life shape the next. The 6 realms Buddha described. 6 realms, not as places in the sky, but as states of consciousness. Human realm, balance of joy and suffering. Best realm for awakening. Heavenly realms, pleasure and light. But spiritual growth slows, because pleasure causes forgetfulness. Titan realm, Asura, jealousy, competition, conflict. Animal realm, fear, instinct, ignorance. Hungry ghost realm, unquenchable craving, endless desire. Hell realms, intense suffering, born from hatred. None of these states are permanent. When karma changes, the realm changes. Liberation from rebirth. The Buddha taught that the ultimate goal is not rebirth in a better realm. It is freedom from the entire cycle. Nirvana, a state where the mind is no longer controlled by craving, by fear, by anger, by ignorance, where the flame of suffering goes out naturally, not in darkness, but in freedom. When ignorance ends, rebirth ends. How to die well. The Buddha gave simple, powerful guidance on dying peacefully. Live mindfully, so your heart is light. Speak truthfully, so your conscience is clear. Let go of anger, so your mind does not burn. Practice compassion, so your next step begins with warmth. Meditate, so the mind knows how to rest in clarity. And at the final moment, bring awareness to breathe, to stillness, to peace. Because the state of your mind opens the next doorway, the deeper meaning of death. Death is not the opposite of life. It is the opposite of birth. Life continues in different forms, different movements, different expressions. A seed must break to become a tree. A star must collapse to become light. Death is transformation, not loss. May you understand that death is not the end, but a doorway. May your heart be free from fear. May your mind be filled with clarity. May your next journey be guided by compassion, wisdom, and peace. Thank you for listening. May all beings everywhere be peaceful, awakened, and free.